Hey everyone, I'm going live in hopes to help you out in something you're going through, maybe. So I've been in situations where I've realized that it's kind of just really pointless in putting effort into whether it be people, things, or situations in your life that you come across, and those situations end up not valuing your effort. Um, whether it be, like I said, whether it be a situation, a person, or something else, it doesn't matter. The point is as I get older, I'm learning not to waste my time on things that aren't going to treat me correctly. Um, and with that being said, I'll use some examples from my past that I've dealt with. I remember one specific one was that someone I was with, I had messaged them, and I had messaged them like 3 or 4 different times, and they didn't reply. So I gave a little bit of time because I'm like, well, they could be sleeping, or it could be the different time zone where they're at. And so I gave it time, and they never replied back. So at that point, the Leo in me kicks in, which says, if you're not going to reply to me, I'm not going to waste my breath on you. Not insultingly, but just I'm not going to continue wasting my energy and breath if I know that the first couple times I've tried to send something cultivated no results. And me as a Leo, I'm not one of those types to flip-flop. Okay? I give what's given to me. Now, I used to be one of the types where I would give, regardless of what they did. The problem with that is that you often get taken advantage of, and you often get used in that way because they're not giving you the effort that you need. Now, like I said, I've been in numerous situations like that where I had to realize that it's pointless to give effort in an area where it's not mutually given back. As a man, one of the things that I get kind of bothered with sometimes when it comes to women is when women end up not being true about who they actually are when they're in front of you, but then they show you something completely different when they're away from you, and that's something that I guess men and women have a difference in. Not all. I mean, I'm sure there's some situations where uh, that may be different or whatever, but for me, I like my consistency. I like my communication consistent. I like that. You know, that shows me that they're highly interested and that they're actually being true to who they are. And it shows more than that they actually value me. So that's something that I value. I don't know what it is that you value in that aspect, but what you decide that you want to value is up to you. Uh, so, like I said, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing what's useful and what's pointless when it comes to effort. And I'm discovering slowly but surely that it is completely pointless to continue effort in an area when it's not being valued the first couple times around in the first place. So, and I think that women misunderstand guys. They're like, well, he was into me at first, but now he's not into me. No. I can't say for all guys, but I know me. Which is, if you've seen a change in me, and I'm dating you, or I'm your friend, whatever kind of relationship I have with you, and you've seen a change in me, it's probably because of something that you've done. Now, again, I'm not putting all the blame on women, because men have to own up to things too. And that is essential. There are guys out there who are chasers. I'm not that kind of guy. There are guys out there who will run after you, who will compete for you. I'm not that kind of guy. There are guys out there who would get jealous. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm the kind of guy that's getting older and realizing that I don't have a lot of time left. About half my life is over with, roughly. So it's becoming more and more crucial for me not to waste time. If I say something, I mean it. That's who I am as a person. One thing that I've been really trying to be is being true to my word. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Doesn't matter if the other person is trying to take advantage of me. It doesn't matter this or that. I will try and do it smartly, but I'm going to try my best to do it. Why? Because being a man of your word is something that's very rare in this world. And it's something we need. And it seems, even in my future, there's going to be those people that decide they want to test me on if I'm going to run after them or if I'm going to put up with lack of communication or lack of quality time that they give to me. If I come across those people, or when or if I come across those people, they're going to find out the hard way. Ain't gonna deal with it. If someone comes at me and tells me they love me, they had better be ready to give 100% communication on a daily basis. Or they should just move on. Because I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give 110% communication to the person that I'm with. On the same note, as a person, I've discovered that it doesn't help anything when you give uneven communication. Why? Because when you give uneven communication to somebody, and they're not giving to you back, there's usually one result that results from that. Resentment. Okay? They don't really value what you're giving. Because if they did, they would give back to you. And that's one of the situations that come around quite a bit, usually. But there is one person above all who believes in you and will never abandon you and will never forsake you, even if hundreds of people in this world do. And that person is God. People will abandon you. People will misuse you. People will take advantage of you. People will play with your heart. God never will. However, is it comfortable when people do that? When they take advantage of you? When they mistreat you? No. It's not comfortable in the least. It doesn't feel good. In a way, it may make you doubt or kind of lose faith in people. But God never will. This is my great hope. Because I know no matter what happens in life, good or bad, that God is always going to be there for me. That God is going to always be trying to talk to me, always be trying to help me, always be trying to motivate me, always be trying to show me his love for me, even when I don't deserve it. But I urge you ladies out there, if you are in a relationship of any kind, and your partner just so happens to be a responder, or you're talking to this guy and you really, really like him, don't let a day go by where you're not responding to him or talking to him or communicating with him. Because if you do that, you will most likely, if not definitely, lose that relationship. I can't say for all guys because some guys actually enjoy the silence. But I know for myself, for example, using myself as an example here, I highly value consistent communication. If someone's not going to talk to me every day, then we already got a big problem. And I realized that you don't want to waste effort on that. You know, it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like the point of. So I'll use this example as a parent. As a parent, you have your kids, right? And the kids make messes all the time. So you realize, okay, well, when they're awake, it's kind of pointless to really go after them constantly, cleaning up their messes, because every time you clean up one room, you go to the next room. By the time you come back, the one room that you cleaned is dirty, right? So a lot of parents will wait till the very end when the kids are tired and relaxed and laying down or taking a bath or something, so they'll look for those breaks and they'll clean up then. Why? Because they're realizing the effort, the wasted effort that would have been taking place had they just done that throughout the entire day. They're realizing, okay, there's really no point to me going around and cleaning everything constantly because it's just wasting my energy. So they wait for the right time to clean, or they wait for the right time to do this or do that. And they pick that right time to do that. And when they do that, it works better. It helps out better. Because they're not changing their decision to give effort. What they're doing, which is the same that we should be doing with love, is they're realizing when is the best time to do this and when is not. So they're getting more smart about what is effort that is good to use and fruitful, and what is effort that is not fruitful, and what is effort that is not good to use. I can't say with every guy, but I'll repeat myself. If you're dealing with a guy and you realize that there's a change that has shifted, it's most likely in response to something that he's experienced, whether it's with you or somebody else. But something has occurred where that guy has experienced something, and that experience has altered. Now, usually guys lose interest in women when they realize that their effort that they're doing is not getting them nowhere. That's when the guy basically turns the knob off, and he goes, "Nope. There's no point in continuing this because it ain't going nowhere." That can also happen with communication. So here's a good example. If you started talking every day to somebody, and you were talking every day, and then all of a sudden the communication dropped. Why most likely has the communication dropped? Not all the time. And this is where you got to use your intellect. So, for example, if I'm dating someone, I'm going to go on their page. I'm going to look at when the last time that they posted was. I'm going to try to see if, okay, well, they haven't been online at all, so that probably means that they either aren't able to connect to the internet, or something has occurred where their safety is involved or something, but I'm going to look for that. And if there's a sign that shows that they've been online, then that tells me that that particular person has the ability to communicate, but wishes not to. And if that's the case, then you kind of want to be a little worried about that. You know, if you're the opposite person, you know, you definitely want to be worried about that. So, but if there has been a change in the effort given, it's usually because someone has decided that there's no point in continuing giving effort in an area where they deem it pointless to continue giving that effort in. They see it as now fruitless. There's nothing that's going to come of it, so why continue giving that effort? And this is often something that happens with guys. Guys, one of the biggest things I can say about guys with you ladies is, like I just said, they give effort until they realize that their effort is going to show no results. When they realize that their effort is showing no results to you, that's when they say bye-bye. So the question is, how do you take that into the realm of relationships? Like specifically love relationships, because on one end you have to unconditionally love the person you're with, right? But that does not mean you have to be stupid about it. It does not mean that you have to go against who you are as a person. It does mean that you need to adjust yourself, but it does not mean in any way that you have to change yourself in the aspect of what's good for you and what's bad for you, just to be with someone. Okay? I'll give you an example. If the person you're with loves you the way that they say they do, or the person that you're interested in, whether it's with them, interested in them, wanting to date them, long-term, short-term, doesn't matter. Okay? Married, whatever. If they're really interested in you in the way that they say they do, and they really care about you the way that they say they do, then you'll have consistent communication. Why? Because both people, and I say this again, both people will value the communication because they value the relationship. However, if one person decides that they do not want to value the communication, and therefore in essence not valuing the relationship, then it's not going to matter much what you're doing. You can continue doing what you're doing, don't get me wrong, because at the end of the day, if you're doing what you're doing, your side of things, you can hold your head high and say, hey, at least I did my part. You know what I mean? But if they're not doing what they're doing, or what they should be doing, to help cultivate that relationship, then I urge you to figure out if you're wasting your energy and should be stopping in an area where you are continuing to put your energy into and wasting it. Okay? Because God does not want you to waste your energy. He does not want you to do that. He realizes how important energy is. That's why he urges us throughout the Bible to focus on things that benefit us, to try to steer clear of things that don't. This is why Solomon said it in the Bible. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. There are things in this world that are neutral. They don't necessarily hurt you. They don't necessarily help you. But are they fruitful? No. And you will probably notice my randomness in this video, because I'm kind of bouncing a little around here and there. But the whole point of this video that I'm making is that communication is highly important. If you don't have that communication, if you don't have that everyday talking, so let me say it like this. If you're in, whether it be you're just starting a relationship, or whether it be a friendship or a family member, well, family members would have been even when you were kids, but you get the point, you know, or a new friend, okay? and you're not having consistent communication, then your friendship, relationship, whatever kind of relationship you want to call it, has disabilities. It's disabled. It's disabled because all the tools in that relationship are not working correctly as they should be doing. It's kind of like on a machine, all the little wheels and spokes on a machine. Everything's not running the way it should be. Something's out of alignment. So you as a person, you need to figure out what's out of alignment and figure out if it's something that you can fix or if it's something that the other person needs to fix. And if it's something the other person needs to fix, then you kind of have to, at that point, toss up your hands and say, hey, God, I give it to you. If they see that that's something they need to fix and they decide they want to fix it, that's on them. If they don't, then there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said, the point is you need to value your relationship. So obviously that means you have to put effort into it. But, so I'm not talking about don't put effort into something that you care about. What I'm talking about here throughout this video is wasted effort. You don't want to waste your effort. You want to make sure that your effort is used correctly and that it's used in a smart way to help you. There's going to be people I know, both in my past and in my future, that are going to come into my life and try to waste my energy. And to those people, I say this. Don't. Because you will fail. And I'll say it again. To those people who feel that they're going to come into my life and try to waste my energy, you're going to fail. You are going to fail. Why? Because I'm at a point in my life where I'm learning more and more as time goes by. And even in every situation, not to waste my energy on things that ain't going to treat that energy correctly. Your question might be, okay, well, how do I know that the problem's me or the problem's the other person? Well, simple. Let's say you're in a relationship, or let's say you're in a situation where you're talking to someone every day, right? So ask yourself this question. If they were talking to me every day, would I be responding every day? Do you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you would be responding to the person every day? All the time. Whenever they send a message. Unless you were sleeping. If the answer is yes, then you're doing your job. You know that you have what it takes to communicate with them every single day. And you know you have what it takes to give that effort correctly every day. So, if the answer to it is yes, that you will do that, then the problem, and you still notice that there's a lack of communication, then the problem is on the other end. Okay? It's kind of like you picking up a phone, and your phone's working fine, but on the other end of the phone, you're hearing static and everything else. And they can't hear you, because their end is messed up. Okay? So normally when that happens with communication on the phone, what do? You hang up, you redial, right? You redial again and hope that the signal strength is stronger. Notice that word, signal strength. Because just like in any relationship, you have to strengthen your signal. You have to put in the work to make that signal strong. And if you do not, then it's to your own peril. Does that mean that because a man is a man that he has to chase you down? No. Some guys aren't built that way. Take me, for example. I'm not a guy that's going to run after communication. If the way I view it is if someone's wants to communicate with me, I have every intention of communicating with them every day. If they do not, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to wait for them to talk. And if that takes days, weeks, or months. And I know that some people might look at that and go, well, yeah, but then you're not valuing your relationship yourself. No. If I value my relationship, I value it being consistent. I value it being healthy. Okay? Let me put it this way. If you have a broken leg, and your leg is busted and it's bleeding and the bone's popping out, you're not going to go put a Band-Aid on it, right? No. You're going to realize that that's wasted energy. That's pointless to do that, right? You're going to go to a hospital because the doctor's going to have all the tools it needs to put those bones, put those muscles and everything and the skin and put it back together in the proper way. That has to get fixed first. Then you can start healing, right? The same is in a relationship. If something is out of alignment, you first have to reset that. You first have to correct and fix that problem first. Okay? And that problem is not something that needs to be done just by one person. It's something that has to be done by two people. But just like everybody knows, it takes two people to make things work, but it only takes one to make it fall apart. Okay? You can want your relationship to work all you want, but if the other person is not feeling the same way, it's not going to matter how bad you want it to work. Okay? That is another lesson that I'm constantly learning. Oh boy, am I learning that one. I am going on 42 years old. I am learning that my time is running short. Half my life is over with, pretty much. I'm assuming I'm going to live till 80, if that. So, half my life is over with. I don't really have the time like I used to when I was 19 or 20 to sit here and waste a couple years playing the chasing game. Or playing the let me try and figure you out game. Or playing the let me test my man game. If you're in those games, go find somebody who wants to play them. Because Kevin's not one of them. The other thing that really confuses me about women is why is it that a lot of women will be one way with you in person? And I constantly come across this. Like they do it with numbers. You asking them for your phone number, or they do it with whether you're single or not. When you ask them if they're single, or they do it even with, heaven forbid, that they say they're interested in you. And the moment they leave, or the moment things change, the situation changes, all of a sudden vanish. I don't get it. But maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm not meant to get it. Maybe I'm not meant to understand the woman's language or how the woman is. Women are women. Men are men. We're going to speak different languages. We're going to think different ways. That's basic logic. So I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm starting to get to that point where I'm like, I'm done trying to figure out women. I never will figure you ladies out. You do some things that are really crazy or really bizarre that seems to have no logic to it whatsoever. But the Bible says man is not meant to walk alone. I know one thing for sure. I'm not going to be 50, 60 years old still looking for a relationship. That ain't going to happen. Technically, I said that about 40. I gave myself the limit of when I turn 40, I'm done looking. And look at me now. I'm still looking. Still trying to find that love, that marriage that's going to last forever. But in every situation, There's always something to learn, and there is always something to help make you stronger, because we are tested in the fires. So what I urge each of you is to figure out if you're wasting your energy. Doesn't matter what area of your life it's in. Work, kids, this, that, whatever. Are you wasting your energy and dispensing energy that is just being mistreated or misused, or is just wasting your energy? Is that something that's going on? If it is, try to stop it. Try to cut off the areas where you know you're wasting your energy and put it into the areas where you know your energy is being used properly. So I hope that something I have said in this live video is going to help somebody. I pray that it does. Until then, until that time, I'm just going to go about my days, figure things out as I go. So everyone be blessed. Stay safe. Remember your masks. If you haven't got the coronavirus vaccine, please do so and get it. And take care.